What's up guys, and welcome back. I'm back here at Mcgrath Volvo Cars of Fort Myers, Florida, where I found this 2023 Volvo XC60. Now this is the ultimate package with the B5 engine in it. So if you don't know what that means, I'm going to get in details with it, as well as I'm going to take you on a complete tour of this vehicle. So we're going to check it out from the exterior, interior. At the end of this video, I'm going to take you for a spin in it. But before we do all that, I just want to say thank you for clicking on this video. I'm glad that you're here and I'm glad that you found me. If you like watching videos like this, do me a quick favor, hit that subscribe button at the bottom of this video, click the like and the bell notification so you don't miss any of the videos that are coming up. Now let's get back to this vehicle. Looking at the exterior of the XC60 for 2023, there's really not many changes. Matter of fact, I can't see one that kind of jumps out at me. However, what Volvo has done is they changed the packages and they changed the different trim models that are available, which I think it's pretty interesting in how they did it. And let me kind of explain of why they've done it. So first of all, to get a little bit deeper into it, before they used to have 3 different trim levels that were available on the XC60. They were starting with the Momentum, which was the base trim, then R Design and Inscription, R Design being the sporty one and Inscription being the more luxurious one. And you couldn't kind of separate the exterior design of it from the interior features of it. And what they've done is they kind of separated the features of the vehicle from the look of the vehicle, if you know what I'm saying. Or if you don't know what I'm saying, I'm going to explain that to you. Right now they have the 3 base trims on the XC60, and that is the Core, Plus and Ultimate, and those signify the features that you actually get on the vehicle. Then you have 2 different design themes that are available, and this is the dark theme and the bright theme. Dark theme being more of a previous R Design theme, and the bright theme is what we have here, which kind of reminds me of the Inscription in the last year. So now you can mix and match to a certain extent. You probably would want to go to the Volvo's website and kind of see which packages are available with which trim. Now they also have 3 different engine options on the XC60, the B5, B6 and the T8. Now I have done the T8 and the B6. I have not done the B5, which is what we have in here, and that's the smallest and the least powerful engine. So I'm kind of curious of what it's going to be driving like with its B5 engine in it. But let's take a look at the design of it. In case you haven't watched any of my previous videos, I gotta tell you, I love the design of it. I think they've done such a tremendous job when they redesigned it in 2022. They've done some improvements on it, and if it's not broken, don't fix it. I like how long this hood is, and it does have a few characteristic body lines on the sides, creating those indents for better aerodynamics, also some of a cooler look on it. As far as the lights, they have not changed the lights. They're fully LED, and if you look at this piece right here, this is the daytime running lights. Turn signal looks like that force hammer, right? And then fully LED lights in here. Now if you scroll all the way down to the very bottom of the bumper, right here we have also an LED fog lights on this model over here. And underneath the headlight units you have the washing system, which is available on the Ultimate package. Now you see a lot of chrome accents, so this is the bright theme design. A vertical slot grille allows a lot of air to go through here for helping with cooling off the engine. And then you have the Volvo logo with the arrow pointing towards the release of the hood. Front view camera, bunch of sensors all over, including on the side end here. And then at the bottom of it, you have this chrome trill on this front splitter or the front fascia of the bumper. And then this portion right here is matte black. This is open as well. Now let's pop the hood and let's see what this smallest engine looks like. Well guys, check this out. I was always impressed of how Volvo designs their hoods and how tall they open. That definitely will prevent any of the mechanics to bump into it while working on this vehicle. And the hood is big, right? But it's also supported by two big hood struts to keep it nice and tall the way it is. So the B5, this is what we have in here. Let me explain you what that means. This is a 2.0 liter inline four-cylinder turbocharged engine producing 247 horsepower, 258 pound-feet of torque, and that delivers the power to the front wheels through 8-speed automatic transmission. Now it is also a mild hybrid, which that it does have this 48-volt mild hybrid system. And what that hybrid system does is basically supports of all the electronics. It also stores the energy produced by regenerative braking in the battery, and then it provides a seamless transition, like with a start and stop engine, with spooling the turbo, with keeping the air conditioning on, etc. So right here on the side of this vehicle, we don't have any changes from 2022. But let's talk about the segment for a second here. Now, Volvo XC60 competes in the segment of a smaller SUV, smaller luxury SUVs, and we're going to put it in the same category as the BMW X3, Mercedes-Benz GLC, or the Audi Q5. I think this one is the coolest looking out of them all, and we're going to talk about the driving when I take it for a spin. But let's take a look at the design of it. Again, it's nice, it's stylish, it's sporty, it's elegant, and all of those words describe this vehicle. And if you like that color, they call it Thunder Gray Metallic, and for $695 you can have yours in that color as well. With the ultimate trim, you get standard 20-inch wheels. Now these were upgraded to 21-inch wheels. It is an $800 option, and you have the 255/40 as far as the tire setup. Nice, they call it the black diamond cut wheels. They're two-tone, they're silver or the aluminum on the face of it, and on the insides they're piano black. So pretty cool setup. Now you have the all-season Pirelli Scorpion Zero tires. That's the setup that comes from the factory. As far as the mirrors, color coordinated with the rest of this vehicle. You do have a blind spot monitor right here. You do have the turn signals that's built inside of here. You do have a camera that's right underneath here. And then of course you have the smart entry on all four doors. So as long as you have the key on you, it's going to lock and unlock the vehicle no matter which door you're going to touch or you're going to get in closer proximity with. So that's a nice feature. There is no cladding around the wheel wells, make it that's nice, seamless look, more elegant. And what adds to that is also that chrome trim that's right underneath here. And then you have a little bit more of a duller trim. So it's not as shiny chrome, it's more of a polished chrome, if you will, around the windows as well as on the roof rails over here. No changes in the back as well. You still have this pretty cool back end of this vehicle. You do have the gate spoiler with the third brake light, exposed wiper. Volvo spelled out XC60 on one side, and this is the engine designation. It will also say like B5, and it was an all-wheel drive, it will say all-wheel drive. Some of them will have a Polestar engineer if they have the Polestar package on the XC60s. But other than that, it's a very, very nice design. So especially those lights, high visibility LED lights, they kind of redesigned them for 2022. They incorporate everything, so your brake lights, your turn signals, your backup lights, and then they kind of go inside of this gate over here. The reflector lights are right at the bottom, bunch of sensors in this portion of the bumper. And because this is the bright package, again, you do have this chrome trim over here. Now, part of Volvo's commitment to electrification of their fleet is actually removing all exposed exhaust, and including on the non-plug-in hybrids, not on the T8 models. So that's what they've done with the B5, actually the B6 and the dark and light trim. Now the dark trim would have more sporty design, which I kind of prefer on the dark trim, but it didn't have that booster seat, so I wanted to do this vehicle for you. Now the gate can be opened from the key, and this is the traditional Volvo key that you have for the last few years, actually more than a few years, but you can open it from the key itself. You can open it from the interior of the vehicle, or you can simply, grab the handle and that's going to open up for you. So the gate opens nice and tall. Now if you look at the top of the gate, it has two buttons, one of them to close it, one of them to close it and lock it. Behind you, you also have two grab handles for easier operation of the gate right there. Now quite a bit of room right behind the seats. You do have this cargo cover that extends. You can lock it in place, you can slide it closed, or you can remove that whole entire thing and move it out of the way. Now right here underneath that floor you have a spare tire. Now this is the temporary use spare tire, but it is there, and then you also have all the tools to remove it with. On the sides you have a little bit of illumination for the cargo area as well as the cargo net if you want to put something smaller in here. So both of the seats fold down, and you can't fold them down within the buttons over here. You'd have to do it from the seat itself. It's actually not bad. All you have to do, as I'm doing it right now, move it and fold it. You have this pass-through over here if you wanted to just carry something longer. Otherwise, you drop them and voila, there's so much room you have. And then again, like I said, this is removable as well. So you can remove this entire contraption over here and get it out of the way. Now, since I have the camera, this might not be a one-hand operation. Well, voila, there you go. Sitting in the back seat feels really, really comfortable. I like the feeling of the leather. I like how wide the seats are and how much room I have for my knees, my head, and my shoulders. As point of reference, I am 6 feet tall, and I feel very, very comfortable here in this back seat. And as always, it is very luxurious. And there's one feature in particular that I want to show you. So come on with me to the interior. Start with the rear door panel right here. It is nice and luxurious. It does have the leather wrapped armrest over here. You do have your window controls, lock controls, and then you have speakers right on top and at the bottom. A little bit more storage at the bottom portion of this door right here. Now moving on inside of this cabin over here, check this out. I've always like the Volvo interiors. I always thought they were very luxurious, including this one. This is all Napa leather surfaces that you get with this ultimate trim. So you can see this 3-passenger seating in the back. Now 2 more comfortable than the third one for sure. You do have this armrest that pops up, and then you have cup holders that you can actually eject from here, and then you have a pass-through into the back over there as well. Now one thing that this vehicle has, and it's part of, believe it or not, a climate package, is this built-in booster seat, which is awesome. So if you have a child that needs a booster seat, it's right here. It's built in. You don't have to carry your own booster seat. You just move it up like this and voila, there you go. And then if you not traveling with your little one, boom, you put it back in, it locks in place, and forget about it, right? Now, what else do we have here? So you do have those footwells over here. They're pretty deep. You do have this bump quite big in the middle, so that makes the third person feel not as very comfortable, and the other two. Now, in the middle over here, you have some vents for the back passengers, but those are not the only vents. I'm gonna get to those later. You can adjust the temperature, you can adjust your fan speed, and then you can lock it, turn it off, turn it on. All right, underneath here, what do we have here? We have 2 USB-C ports in the bottom portion of it. Okay, some cargo net, not sure if I like them. This is all plastic, which is actually very smart to have, especially if you have kids. They're gonna kick them anyway, so it's easier to clean. And then the vents that I was telling you about, in addition to the vents in the middle console, you have the vents on the beep right here, and you can close them, open them. So that's a nice feature as well. As always, let's hear how this vehicle sounds. Boom, you can definitely hear that the quality is there, no extra noises there. As far as the door panel, in addition to what you saw in the back, actually we have branding on the stereo. It says Harman Kardon stereo. You have 2 memory seat settings, lock and unlock. Then you have your window mirror and lock controls. A lot more storage right underneath here. Then you have your main speaker over here. Right on the door sill, you see Volvo. I love those seats, by the way. They're power controlled, of course, nicely profiled, but I urge you to go to the dealership, touch it, and sit on one of those. This is such an incredible feeling. That Napa leather is so soft, and the seats are very nice, comfortable. They look sporty, but they're actually not too tight. Now, you have several controls over here, now including your thigh rest control. I'll show you how to operate it in just a little bit. And on the left hand side on the steering wheel, you have one single button, and that's to open up that gate. Now let's get in here because there's some improvements on the interior as well. Let's check out the interior of this 2023 XC60. Now I'm going to point out some differences between the 22 and 23, but they're mostly software, mostly functionality updates. So as far as the looks of it, it looks the same as the 2022, and I really like the look. It's maybe not as flashy as some of the other competitors that you see a bigger and more flashy screens, but trust me, it is very functional. So first of all, I like how this dashboard kind of towers over it. It kind of has this little hang above the rest of it, and then this is all soft vinyl kind of material with the contrast stitching. You have the Harman Kardon stereo, big speaker over here. Then you can see it does have the head-up display. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it does say 0 miles per hour, and also it reads the speed limit sign, so it does have a head-up display. And then of course you have the trim over here. Now this is more of a birch wood kind of open pore trim with the aluminum trimming around it, and of course you do have your glove box right underneath here, and then vents on the sides over here, and then vents on both sides of the screen. Now we'll get back to the screen. Let's get to the steering wheel. Now, like I said, it doesn't have as many buttons. It's not as fancy as some of the competitors, but trust me, it is very functional. It's very good and feels very good to the touch. It's just the right size, it's just the right thickness. Volvo logo. You have buttons over here that's basically for your cruise control. That controls the distance between you and the car in front of you. That controls what's going on inside of here, and then if you want to select it with this middle button over here. So let's move on over here. So this is your instrument cluster over here. It says rear child lock deactivated, activated back on. So we're going to get rid of this. Let's get rid of this message over here. On the left hand side, you see the speedometer, and you also have the speed limit sign, right? So that reads the signs, tells you how fast you're going, how fast you're supposed to be going. And on the right hand side, you have a tachometer. You also have your gear indicator, and then you have the map that's right in front of you over here. Now, that's pretty much it. You can either have the map or you don't have to have the map. The only other thing is your trip reset. So you can do the trip manual, 4.6 miles per gallon. Well, if we're on the miles per gallon, let's talk about the fuel economy of this vehicle. So it's 26 combined, 23 in the city, 30 on the expressway. It is not bad for a small SUV. So this is your instrument cluster. Let's move on to the infotainment system. We've seen it on the last model year. They started doing this software for the infotainment system in 2022, and what that is, it's a Google design system, right? So a lot of people didn't like it because it didn't have Apple CarPlay, so it wasn't compatible with Apple CarPlay. Well, guess what? It does have Apple CarPlay right now. Not only that, it also has Apple CarPlay update for the last year's model. So if you do own a 2022 XC60, you could update it. Now you can't do it over the air. You have to actually get to the dealership. So here's how your main screen looks like. So this is your main menu. So you have maps, connect your device, play the news, etc. Now, your voice control, which you have a button over here, you can start talking to Google. It's not only for your navigation, it's basically for everything. Like, you know, say, Google, what's the weather today?
Today in Fort Myers, there'll be scattered thunderstorms with a forecasted high of 91 and a low of 76. Right now it's 90 degrees.
I think they're
mostly
right.
sunny.
Look at this. The weather is coming in, so that's for sure. Or you can say, take me to nearest Volvo dealership.
Okay, I'm setting your destination to Mcgrath Volvo Cars of Fort Myers on Colonial Boulevard.
There you go. So now you have different options. Now this is Google Android
south.
base. Basically, we're going to turn off that navigation system. I can check the map. Okay, it's easy search, right? Gas stations, they have the prices right over here too. So here's your gas prices. You know, Racetrack has it at $3.75 a gallon, so you can navigate based on the prices, restaurants, etc. Pretty nice, very intuitive system. Let's go to the camera settings. That's important as well. All right, again, I wish it would have basically the entire screen for it. Now it does have a bunch of sensors that show up if you get closer to something, but I think the entire screen would be cool. Now the entire screen is for the top-down view from the camera, and if you press any of those camera icons, it shows that camera. Like right now, this is from the mirrors that we've seen. All right, we go back to the 360. You have your front view camera, and then we have the rear view camera over here. Right, you know, we ended up on this grass, by the way, in Volvo Cars of Fort Myers. They had some event going, and there's a lot of cars moving, so I didn't want to be in the middle of everything. But that's your rear view camera. Quality is pretty good. I wish, you know, they kind of did it on the entire screen. That's just one of my pet peeves. And this portion right here is for your climate control, basically. So if you hit that button, it opens up your climate control settings. So I want to point out something which is new to 2023 as well. So you have your main climate control setting over here, then you have your rear climate control setting, and then you have parking climate control setting. So what that means, if I turn the vehicle off right now, see, this is a turn on and off button, it's going to highlight this button that says start air purification. I'm going to hit that. And what it is, it's designed for actually having the air move inside of this vehicle. So they take the air from the outside and it kind of goes inside the vehicle, gives you a little bit of ventilation inside so you don't get as hot. And I think it's a perfect feature. I always feel guilty if I have my vehicle idling for a long time with the AC going on. But in Florida, really, there's no chance of not doing that. So anyways, let me start this vehicle again. And what we have here, let's go to the main climate control, pretty much self-explanatory. Let's go to the main screen. Interestingly, I think they actually got rid of the driving modes, because when you hit the driving, it says drive modes, but the only thing that you have is the off-road mode, pilot assist, driving dynamics, that you can make the steering wheel feel firm, and that's pretty much it. So there's really no drive modes that I can see. Now I might be looking in the completely wrong place. And then controls, display, lights, locking, wipers, mirror. They have a lot of controls over here. Now one of the things a lot of people say, hey, you know what, it doesn't have the ambient lighting. Well, yeah, no, it doesn't. But you know, interior light, low, high, off. It doesn't have this fancy interior lighting like you see on some of the Mercedes, Audi, BMWs. I kind of wish it had it, but you know, it's not the end of the world. I guess less distractions, the safer driving it is. Moving down below, you have some shortcuts over here, and that's basically your front window defogger, rear window defroster. This is your volume control, and also we have the play, pause, and then the track settings, hazard lights over here, and then this pretty cool crystal shifter over here. Now, a huge difference from the 2022 to the 2023. Remember when you had to switch it in gear, you had to kind of double tap it. One tap, you're in gear. We're driving right now, okay? Parking, same kind of thing. And then reverse, of course, we checked out the rear view camera already. But then if you double tap it, just to let you know, you put it in park, you double tap it, it's gonna turn on the manual mode, and it's gonna show up in here. So going right and left, it's gonna change the gear. So it doesn't have the pedal shifters, you change the gears on this shifter itself. One of the things that unfortunately they got rid of is, if you remember, there was a wireless charging pad over here. Volvo says that's due to the chip shortage that they're not going to provide it for the first part of 2023. Hopefully they're going to catch up with that, and they're going to actually start giving us that back. A little bit more storage in here, cup holders, your electronic parking brake, and then you have the turn on and off feature for the engine. You have 2 additional USB ports, 1 USB-C and 1 USB, and a little bit storage right inside of here as well. Now moving up, you do have this panoramic sunroof. It does have quite a bit of area that it covers. So I mean, you can open it, you can slide it open, you can slide it closed. Check this out. I mean, this is nice. Okay, we can also close that up. And then the lights, there you go, nice and bright LED lights, and turn these all on, all off. SOS feature, this is your chat feature, I believe. This is your rear view mirror in case you haven't didn't know what that is. And then of course you have the visors, illuminated visors over here. Now scan here to learn about your XC60. So if you wanted to get to know your car a little bit more, you just scan that. It's going to take you to the info page over here, guys. I like it a lot. Take it for a spin. Guys, I'm about to take this vehicle for a spin before we get rained down, so we're going to do really quick. I want to tell you a little bit about this vehicle while driving. So first of all, Volvo has changed the way that you order these vehicles. Like I said in the beginning of this video, now you have the ability to kind of mix and match the exterior styling with the features that you have on the vehicles. And there's a wide range of pricing that is available. As a matter of fact, the difference between the Core, which is the base model, and the Ultimate is about $10,600. Now, you cannot order the Core with the B6 motor. You can only order the Ultimate with the B6 motor, which is the more powerful, and that's turbocharged, supercharged, produces more horsepower than this one right here. But this at 247 horsepower should be substantial to the regular driving, and we're about to check that out while taking it on the road. One of the things that I see right away, like I've done in the previous one, the seats are so comfortable. You sit up higher, but not like on top of the vehicle. So this is just the right driving position as far as height. Now, if you like the plushy and comfortable ride, this is kind of a combination between that and the more stuff, more control ride that you'll find and some of the performance SUVs. You can also see and change the steering wheel feel to the more firmer one, as you've seen at some of the options that I displayed on the screen before. So overall, a very nice and very pleasant experience driving this vehicle. We're gonna do a turn here at a little bit of a higher speed to see how the body roll is. Hold on to the road nice and tight, and let's do the acceleration here, and a little bit of a bumpy road test. So the suspension absorbs the bumps really nice. As far as the acceleration, you can definitely feel the engine working, but it's not overly annoying noise. It'd be nice actually to stop. Now, I don't have anybody behind me. This is not a very straight road, so I'm going to do the best I can to do this acceleration test. But here, we're stopping right here at 0 miles per hour and go. So we got it to 50 miles an hour, not too bad. I mean, it's definitely capable of merging into traffic. Smooth shifting, nice ride, comfortable, definitely a worthy contender. I think it was me, I would still, you know, shell out this little bit of extra money and get the more powerful option on it, but definitely for a daily driver, this is nice, this is pleasant, and no wonder they sell a lot of it. Now, this is Volvo's best-selling vehicle, the XC60. You know, the XC90 is very popular as well, and I'm going to bring that to my channel, the 2023 model soon. Again, guys, big thanks to Volvo Cars of Fort Myers, Florida for allowing me some time with this vehicle. A great group of people. If you're anywhere in the area, they have a bunch of the XC60s that just got delivered to the dealership. So there's a lot of different trim and level options to choose from. Give me a call. I'll post a link in the description of this video, so it's going to make it easier for you. So, summing it all up, I like this vehicle. Overall, the job of the car reviewer is always to pick on something and to find one or two things that you're not happy with, and not to criticize the brand, but maybe point out the opportunity for improvement, maybe what I would like to see more, if it was my vehicle. And really, I'm having a really hard time finding those one or two options that I would add. Now, one thing that if I was a stickler would be the rear view camera. I think there's an opportunity for improvement there, but I haven't found a perfect one in any of the vehicles yet, and that one is pretty close. So it does have a decent quality. I wish it would take the entire screen, kind of a different setup versus split half and half. You have all this real estate, why not use it? And then the other thing that's very biased, because I like gadgets, I like a lot of stuff that is customizable on the car, even though honestly I probably want to use about 10% of it or so. I'd like to have a little bit more customization on the infotainment system, maybe an instrument cluster. Now, Volvo claims that, hey, the less stuff that's blinking and shining and lights up, the less destruction there is for the driver, and they're absolutely right. But for somebody who likes their gadgets, this is a pretty cool option to have. So those are really two things that I would change maybe. As far as the power on this vehicle, this base engine produces enough horsepower for the everyday driving. You're not going to win any races, but it's definitely nice, smooth acceleration. You can feel that mild hybrid taking care of all of the air conditioning components, and the auto start and stop. The turbo lag is virtually non-existent because that keeps that turbo spooled up. Now, whatever regenerative braking power we produce, it actually gets stored in the battery and gets put back in the system, so it's actually saving you money at the gas pipe and provides a nice, seamless, smoother ride. So that's definitely a base engine that's a substantial for the size of this vehicle. Now, if that wasn't enough for you, you also have two different engine choices that are available. The B6 produces more horsepower, it's more responsive, it's faster offline, and of course the T8, which is the fastest one off the all, and that's the plug-in hybrid one. So the only thing that I would probably change on this vehicle, I might go with that dark theme, a little bit more sporty, a little bit more aggressive design, and I would definitely go with the B6 or maybe even a T8 option. Other than that, it's pretty cool. Well, guys, I hope it was helpful and I hope you learned something. I hope you like videos like this. If you do, check out the rest of my channel. Consider subscribing. It really means a lot to me, and I'll see you in my next video. Cheers.